Welcome back into another episode of Hefe's World. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. But right before we begin, I just want to say I apologize for the wait. But we doing the Raw review episode here. Jey Uso kicks off Raw once again, making his way down to the ring through the crowd. As he made his way down to the ring, he once again replayed that music for the crowd. The crowd was absolutely hot. He was doing his thing on the announcer's table when Gunther would attack him from behind. Gunther would get him into the ring and hit two power bombs on him before trying to make his way up the entrance ramp with security. Jay would grab a mic and tell Gunther that he challenges him for his match at WrestleMania for the title. So we are officially set for Jey Uso versus Gunther at WrestleMania for the title. Gunther tried to make his way back down to the ring, but got stopped by Jey Uso, who made a nice splash off the from the rope, off the top rope to Gunther. Then the security, of course, held them back, and we got a cut to a replay of Liv and Raquel Rodriguez from last week attacking Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Then we have a backstage segment with Rhea Ripley, and she basically talks about Charlotte wasting time and she needs to hurry up and pick her opponent, who is, of course, interrupted by Io Sky. Of course, bringing up last week, and Io tells her that she will basically at some point come for that championship. Back to the ring, though. We have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez making their way to the ring before we get a commercial break. Back from commercial, we have a hype video for our tag team title match later on with the War Raiders and American Made as well. Back to the ring area, though, we already have Io Sky and Dakota Kai in the ring, so we are set for our tag team match with Io Sky, Dakota Kai versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. A great back and forth action between these four women that ends with Io picking up the win on Liv Morgan. So she got her revenge from last week. Great storytelling again by Hunter. And we'll see what's next from these four women as well. I don't believe they're done with each other in the slightest. So we'll see what happens. And from there, we got a replay of Kevin Owens' attack on Sami Zayn from last week's Raw. And then we have the replay of Kevin Owens cutting his car promo from SmackDown this past week as well, which is followed up by a backstage little quick segment of Bailey and Lykira shown walking to the ring area for their match. Then we get a commercial break. Back from commercial, however, we are ready to go with Bailey and Lyra Valkyria for their Elimination Chamber qualifying match. This is Lyra's first match since winning that Intercontinental Championship, and me for one, I'm just upset that it's taken this long for them to continue to showcase her skills. Was an amazing match that I knew she wasn't going to win from the beginning. Um, and obviously, as I said, I knew she wasn't going to win. Of course, Bailey won this match, but I don't want to take anything away from Lyra Valkyria in this match whatsoever. This was an amazing match between these two women, and Lyra is set for nothing but success at this point. I just wish that Hunter would do more. So hopefully we will get more from Lyra. But shout out to Bailey for winning this match. She is officially qualified for the Elimination Chamber. So there we have it. Up next, we had a promo from Penta on Ludwig Kaiser. This was an on-screen promo, not a backstage promo, pre-recorded promo. That was then followed up by a backstage promo from Ludwig Kaiser, who was cut off by Pete Dunne, saying that Pete telling him that he never needed his help to begin with, and Ludwig says he's going to have his way. Pete says that he's going to break Penta, and Kaiser basically tells him, "Go ahead, it's all you, man." And Pete walks off. AJ walks by, and we get cut to another commercial. Back from commercial, um, we have Lyra and Ivy. They have a little backstage promo, which is followed up or ended pretty much with tag teams saying they'll see each other soon. Um, back to the ring area though, we have AJ Styles making his way to the ring. He cuts an amazing promo. He's telling us that he's still got stuff left in the tank and he's ready to go. So I'm excited to see exactly what he's got for us on store on Raw. I feel like at some point, however, we will get back to the house that AJ Styles built on SmackDown. But for now, he is a Raw superstar, who was cut off by Dominic Mysterio and Carlito. Dom's music hits, and Dominic Mysterio's heat is just absolutely exceptional. It is almost impossible to hear what he says when he tries to talk. So they try to cut a promo on their way to the ring, but him and Carlito just absolutely booed out of the stands. So they go back and forth for a little bit. AJ tells Dom that he's going to be nothing but Rey Mysterio's punk kid. AJ eventually gets attacked. Of course, with it being 2-on-1, they get the upper hand, but AJ definitely powers back in this. Um, and he eventually gets the upper hand, and then Dom will end up on the outside area. AJ gets the upper hand on Carlito and pretty much beats up Carlito from there. We get a shot up to the arena, or I'm sorry, the crowded area, where we have a promo for Seth Rollins. Seth is in the crowd cutting a promo talking about his match next week with Finn Balor for the Elimination Chamber. And this is eventually interrupted by Finn Balor. Um, Seth says that all eyes are on him. Um, right before Seth interrupts him, and Finn pretty much tells Seth that there's cracks and we started to see them as early as January 1st when he faced CM Punk on the Netflix debut. So we are going to be getting a Elimination Chamber qualifying match next week between those two men. There were a lot of matches announced for next week, so next week's card is absolutely stacked. It seems like we're going to get a lot of action next week from Raw, but we got another commercial back from commercial. AJ's with Adam Pearce, and he says that next week it will be AJ versus Dominic Mysterio, which there's another match again set for next week. So that's two already that I've told you guys for next week. Braun, though, before everything ends up, Braun shows up, and him and AJ get face to face. So there's more of a tease here again for AJ Styles and Braun Breaker feud down the line for that Intercontinental Championship. Um, once again. So Braun pretty much right before he also walks off and he says, I'll see you around. So right before he walked off, he said that as well. So we're getting a lot of seeds planted between these two. So I can't wait for that feud. That should be an amazing feud for the IC title. And I would be, and honestly, I could see AJ winning that title to go on and feud with John Cena, so John Cena can complete his title quest because he does need to get that IC title at some point. So that's something to look out for down the line as well. But back to the ring area, we have American Made in the ring already, and then the War Raiders music hits. We have a WWE Tag Team Championship match that ends in a disqualification, unfortunately. So still our champions today are the War Raiders. We have another backstage segment with the Judgment Day, Carlito, Finn, just all of them going at it back and forth. There's a lot of holes from what you can see within the Judgment Day at this point, and I'm just curious to see. They even teased in this promo maybe another person being in the Judgment Day. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm curious to see if they would bring another person in the Judgment Day to continue it, but I'm going to continue with what I've been saying that the Judgment Day will be done and gone soon enough. Unless they bring somebody else in, which they could only because Dom is definitely like, I feel like he needs this group. Um, and I feel like certain people in this group, like Carlito, JD, they need this group to stay relevant. Dom doesn't necessarily need the group to stay relevant, but it's it's good in his character to be in a group. But he doesn't need it, if that makes sense. However, we'll see what transpires between them. We have another backstage promo or set with Rhea shown with Io, and this time Rhea is letting Io know that the Raw after the Elimination Chamber, there will be a match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the women's title. So we will get to know who goes to WrestleMania to face one of those women, but we may not know who's champion until that very next night. So I'm sure that'll be the main event on the Monday after the Elimination Chamber. So be on the lookout for that. I will definitely go into more detail as the time approaches. But back to this week's Raw, CM Punk's music hits. He makes his way down to the ring. He cuts an excellent promo on the Elimination Chamber with Drew, John Cena, and just everything that's going on about it. Um, he pretty much says that John Cena, uh, forced his way into the Rumble. I mean, I'm sorry, not the Rumble, the Elimination Chamber. He didn't earn his spot. And he pretty much tells everybody that this is his chance to get to Mania, and he doesn't care who he has to go through. Logan Paul's music would eventually hit at some point down the line, and CM Punk would say, "Whose music is this?" As if he didn't know, which was hilarious to me. It's great to see that how certain storylines are continued and different seeds are planted for certain things down the line. So that's all obviously great. And these two definitely have a great way with words before Rey Mysterio's music ends up hitting. And then we have the final match of the night, the main event, Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul for one of the Elimination Chamber spots. This is not the final Elimination Chamber spot, as there are a couple spots still left. This was a great, excellent back and forth match. Obviously, as I mentioned in my preview episode, Rey Mysterio, this is their second match, and Logan Paul once again will win, and that is exactly what happened. But this, like I said, was a great match Rey Mysterio had. After the match, however, as Logan Paul was going up the entrance ramp, Rey Mysterio was still down and out in the ring. And right before Raw went off air, the New Day, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods would attack Rey Mysterio. So once again, they are continuing the feud with Rey Mysterio and the New Day. I'm curious to see how far this goes and what is next for these guys. Logan Paul has officially made his way into the Elimination Chamber. There is a few matches for next week's Raw already lined up, so I will definitely be getting into that on my preview episode coming up for you guys later on this week. But before that, SmackDown this Friday night. We will get into that. I will hit y'all with a preview episode and then a review episode as well after that. So make sure y'all hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see y'all next time. Just remember, this is Hefe's World, and you're just living in it.